All righty. Hey, everybody. Welcome into. Uh, Hold on. I got monitors on. For her briefing. And through her, the Secretary General. Sorry, I'm late. Very important things. UN Security Council meeting going on. Welcome in to the Pugs and Parker Pillow Talk Ukraine Extravaganza. This is the second of two streams that I do each and every day here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. The first one, High Noon, comes at you noon every single day. That's more current events driven. If it's trending, if it's a hot topic, if it's something like that, we'll cover it. Consider it a cheat sheet for your day. This is a little bit more conversational. This is just a little bit more laid back. I bring in James Parker as my co-host for this hour, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time every single day. Let's bring him in. There he is, James Parker. Why is that so loud? Oh, my God. Sorry, I had some issues. James Parker. All right.
It sounds good. It's not clipping or anything. It sounds good.
All right, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on.
It's just your headphones.
How's it doing? Hi, John. John's in Carson City. I'm gonna have to turn that off because.
Wait, is this the Norway broad on the UN Security Council?
Hold on. I gotta pull. I got so many damn windows open, man. I am so confused as to what I'm like right now. I'm learning. I'm reading about Sergei Lavrov. Right, that's the window that's open. I don't know. I've got a looks like a shot from the bleachers of the Security Council. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, no. Where's the channel I was on?
No, the lady in the red from Norway.
And see, is she fine? Is she hot?
Oh God, no, not at all. It's a UN Security Council meeting.
Oh yeah. Have you seen some of the politicians that part of the world trots out?
I've seen the Prime Minister of Finland. I saw.
They're pretty amazing. Give me a 10 count. I'm trying to. You're a little bit low. Is that on your end or mine?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Can you bring yourself up a little?
I can. How about that?
Give me more.
Nah, that I didn't need to go more, Pugs. This is my good level.
All right. Then count to 10 again. Let me figure out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
yeah, you're
12.
fine. Okay, you're good. You're good. As long as you know your levels. Hold on a second here.
Dude.
Jesus. My boy Steve Lookner from Agenda Free TV started streaming at 9 o'clock this morning, and he's still going. He's still live streaming. This dude, James, This guy yesterday, I mentioned this on the noon show. This dude yesterday, all Sunday after he did 12 hours on. What's that? Oh, did you bring it up? Is that the Security Council? Did you find it?
Yeah, I mean, just I have it. I mean, do you want it? I can turn the volume up on this, bro.
Yeah, she's not like that girl who's that hot prime minister that we like.
Yeah, the one from Finland.
Is that the one from Finland? Finland, yeah, Norway, same damn thing.
Is she like 26 or 36 or whatever? But 26, right?
36. No, they ain't gonna put a 26-year-old in charge of anything.
I think she's 26. She looks like she's 26.
26 looks like Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is 26.
Now.
Hold on. PM of Finland. Finland? Is that what it was?
Yes. The land of Finns.
We forgot her name.
Oh, yeah. Finns come from.
Yeah.
And how old is she?
Santa Marin is, we should just let her fix everything.
We shouldn't.
She is 20. Why not? People would listen to her.
I wouldn't let her change the water pump on an 85 Crown Vic. Okay.
Why? She's an attorney. Why? I mean, I want to know why.
Because I doubt she has ever changed the water pump on an 85 Crown Vic.
You know what? I didn't listen to what you said there. I was just thinking that you were going to, but you're absolutely right. I wouldn't let her change the water pump on that either, but I might let her broker some sort of international accord. I think that might be more in her wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I would let you broker an international accord.
Horrible idea. No.
But I would allow you to attempt to change a water pump on a 76 Crown Vic.
That's right. Don't send me to the UN.
She's hot as hell, man. She was born in 1985. So what does that make her?
36.
32, 37. Look at you. How do you do that math so quick? Oh, China. Put up China. Can we watch China? This is why did it freeze up?
I can't understand what they're ever saying, though.
Yeah, but this is the important one because they've been official Chinese Twitter's been slamming Putin for the last 24 hours.
Hang on, C-SPAN's holding up. What are you doing?
Oh.
Maybe there's a rush on C-SPAN right now. They're getting their only ratings ever.
Related to the signing today by Russia's president of decrees recognizing the Lugansk and Donetsk People's Republics. I'll lead the direct verbal assaults against us unanswered. Now
I
it's
can't
important to
believe that.
focus
You can kill
on
it.
how
We
to
can kill
avoid
it.
war.
I've been waiting the whole time for China. China's really the only important voice right now in the Security Council on this particular matter. And I don't know what China just said. Let me check in on my running chat that I've had going for the past 12 hours. Okay, so check this out, dude. Lookner, my agenda free guy, the guy that I turn to for all my breaking news coverage. No politics, doesn't do any politics, just news, actual news, not politics, news.
Love that.
Dude, he made about what? So I saw 5, 10. He made. Okay, so I'll put it to you this way. I saw one $5,000 donation, and I saw multiple $500 donations. Yesterday, the dude's live stream probably pulled in about 15 grand. And then on Friday, I stopped counting at like 10 grand. This dude made about 40 grand in the last 4 days just doing a live stream.
On what platform?
YouTube. He's just a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber who does straight ass news. And he does, if it's breaking news, he's on it 2 hours before any other news source is on it. If there's a shooting in Akron, Ohio, boom, he's on it. If there's a plane that crashes in Orem, Utah, boom, he's on it. If there's, he's incredible. Here, you know what? I'm going to show him to you. Because I know that we're not allowed to share it, but I'm going to do it real quick. I'll do it real quick just so you guys can get a look at him. And we call ourselves Look Nerds because his name is Steve Lookner. We call him Look Nerds. He is terrific, dude. And he does this from his apartment. I think he's in Atlanta. I think this is just, there you go. All right, we'll just get a look at it real quick. All right, see, there he is. What's he got? All right, so right now, after 11 hours ago, he started streaming. Now, YouTube's going to kick him off at 12 hours. So he's going to have to come back. He's going to have to do a second stream. Except this dude, man, look at his eyes are washed. He is like exhausted. He hasn't moved from the seat. Right now, he's got 11,000. At peak, around 2:00 this afternoon when I signed off the High Noon Show and jumped back on, he had like 30,000 people watching him live.
We're losers then, aren't we?
We are total friggin' losers. All right, I got to get rid of that because I like him too much, and I know that we could probably get in trouble for using his thing. But dude, I was just, and I'm not being like angry or jealous or anything. More power to him. This guy, I watched like a normal, like a school shooting. Let's say at 2 p.m. or no, let's say 11 a.m. Well, a good example would be the school shooting that happened in Mansfield a couple months back. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Learned about it from him because I've got an alert on my phone. And as soon as he decides, I don't know how, I think he must have just a nerd wall of police scanners and all that stuff that are going all the time. And he puts on a little shirt and tie and he stands in front of, or sits in front of his green screen. And then he just goes and he's got the police scanners going and he follows everybody on Twitter. So every possible report that comes in, he's putting the reports out there. He's got the video. This poor guy, seriously, he's probably only slept 8 hours in the last 4 days. He started going nonstop on this Ukraine stuff on Friday. And today he's gone 12 hours straight, 11 hours straight. It's just incredible. He's my hero. He is my hero.
Well, also, I know this isn't going to help our PR much, but not only are we losers, but we don't have any winners in our audience that are donating giant sums. They're all losers too.
Well,
we're just all losers together. You're a loser. I'm a loser.
No,
watching, you're a loser.
We have people who give what they can. And maybe if we had 30,000 listeners, there'd be a few in there.
That's not a loser. Right. No, but I mean, Steve, Byron, John, nice guys. Bob, total nice guy. Losers though.
Not
myself included.
Not John. John's a big donor. John's one of the biggest donors that we have. John is a good donor. John doesn't drop $5 is all I'm saying. John does weekly or bi-weekly. And it's my grocery money. John does really good.
So John is the one well done, John. I take it back.
If I could have 10 Johns, we'd be fine. We would be fine. There'd be no problem. And I wouldn't have to worry about driving Uber or delivering food or whatever the hell we might have to do.
Bro, I have been thinking about driving Uber just on Saturday nights and just for show content.
Yeah, well, you should
just because it'd be a hoot. Even if I didn't have a show, it'd be fun.
I wonder if I could do just like, excuse me, like I wonder if I could do my own Uber, like without using Uber, just like doing this show and saying, hey, tell people if they need a ride, here's my number. They can call me and I'll come. It'll be $20, but I record everything. You know what I mean? You need to go to the airport. I'll do it for $20, but we're going to record the trip. And then we're going to show that we're going to use the trip as content.
If we had a bigger audience, maybe we could pull that off.
And I take tips.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we should do that. We should. Well, there's no one out here in Tyler, but in Dallas, there's somebody who's going to need a ride to and from the airport.
I don't know if Ed is in the chat room, but he might be able to help me out with this. There was a news guy in Chicago. So what's a news guy in Chicago make? Minimum $300,000 a year. Minimum. He was up 10 p.m.
Oh, an anchor.
Part-time anchor, but a reporter, and a guy. Ponce was
120.
No, not in Chicago. More than that. You're right. Maybe 3 is a little bit high, but I would put it probably at 2. At any rate, he quit his job as it was NBC News in Chicago, NBC Chicago. He quit his job and started to drive Uber, but he did it for podcast content. Like he started a podcast where he was, and apparently it blew up. Everybody wanted the celebrity news guy to be their Uber guy. So it's like he was constantly, so I don't know if he's still doing it. What is that guy? Was that? I think his dad is like a big MSNBC guy or something. Phil Ponce. Who's the Ponce? Chicago media. Let's see.
Oh, he's the guy that discovered Florida.
Yes, that's it. Ponce de Leon. That's right. Yeah. Hold on. It's not Phil. Who's the podcast?
We got conquistador humor. That's how good we are.
Oh, here it is. Anthony. It's not Phil. Phil Ponce is his dad. Phil Ponce is the let's see. Anthony Ponce quits NBC5. Chicago television is about to lose one of its Ponces. Anthony Ponce has resigned as a reporter and weekend morning news anchor at NBC-owned WMAQ to pursue other opportunities outside TV news, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this doesn't say what he did. But he started a podcast where he drove Uber. All right, so I'll find this now. I don't know if that's still on. Anthony. So how are you, James?
I'm great. I'm pretty good. I'm in a good mood. I had a good day. Things are all right. I'm a big fan of collegiate swimming all of a sudden.
Why?
I'm just a big fan of Leah Thomas. I'm very pro-trans in the trans community. I'm an activist. And so I'm just watching the good fortunes of the trans community, showing the rest of you bigots and haters that we do belong in college sports.
Anthony Ponce started as a general assignment reporter and subbed in as anchors across the Midwest for over nearly 10 years. He climbed the ranks at NBC Chicago as an on-air reporter and weekend star. It seems like a straightforward path to his dream job until last year when he was up for the promotion that he didn't get. Shortly afterwards, he quit with a plan to drive for Lyft and interview passengers for his own independent podcast. Yeah. See, we've got precedent for what we want to do. We've got, somebody has done it in the past.
Yeah, but they're specific now that you cannot be recording these people.
Yeah. So I said we got to do our own Uber. We got to do our own kind of thing. We got to free ball it.
Well, just remind these people that are watching the videos, the people live, and if you're watching it after the fact, just give Pugs a call. He'll give you a ride.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm really committed to that. I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet. I don't know if that's Mr. Popular. Probably my kid in the other room. Are your kids off school tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Are they off school tomorrow too?
No, just today. President's Day, whatever. Is your kid off tomorrow?
My kid's off tomorrow. How? I don't know why. My kid's off tomorrow, and then they're saying that schools could be closed on Thursday and Friday. So,
is ice falling from the sky? Is that it?
I don't know, dude. The air conditioner is currently on. It was 83 degrees today.
Yeah, it was 80.
It was
nice.
It was super nice today. He said he wanted to go swimming, and I'm like, I don't know, man. That pool, it's been really cold. I don't know if you can go swimming just because it's been 80 for like 2 hours. I think that pool's gonna
just say, go ahead, Mace. Go ahead, jump in.
Let's see here. Hold on. Like I said, I'm behind on everything right now. I apologize. Okay, I'm gonna X out of that. We don't need that anymore. Let me pull up everything.
You ready to do the nasty?
I see you went through the effort to do a monologue, so I'm gonna respect you enough, and we're gonna get to James's monologue here in a second.
This is going to be a reluctant monologue, huh?
No, never reluctant. I'm always very pleased to have you and your efforts contribute to this Pugs and Parker presentation. Absolutely not. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Comfort Nest Guest House Lounge, high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. He is a comedy sensation, the man of mirth. He's made kings, queens, royalty all over Europe laugh. He's Putin's favorite comedian, James Vladimir Putin Parker.
I'm not sure if I like this layout because it's cutting off my little title screen up there and can't see my curtains and can't see the chat people. And
there you go.
That'll work. Queen Elizabeth has tested positive for COVID-19. Did you hear about this, Pugs? Her Majesty.
This ain't good.
Oh, well.
Not good.
She was unavailable for comment this afternoon. A spokesperson said she was on the throne.
Oh, the throne. What? Listen to this guy. I don't think so.
Dad, that's stupid, Dad. For his last meal, Oklahoma death row convict Ray Postel. Check this out. He had 20 chicken. I know you love last meals. He had 20 chicken nuggets, 2 chicken sandwiches, 3 large fries with ketchup, large cola, and a caramel frappe. But because of prison rules, he wasn't allowed to take it to go. They didn't give him a bag. In Georgia, a 34-year-old female teacher was arrested for abusing a male student. Witnesses said that she hit the boy with a computer charger and she refused to have sex with him.
Oh, that is by today's damn right, that's abuse.
It was on this day in 2007. Pugs friend Kim Kardashian, her sex tape was released. And to this day, it's the only known footage of Kim displaying talent.
How dare you?
That was a compliment. That was a compliment. She looked very talented in that video that I watched 1,000 times. And it was on this day in 1885. The Washington Monument was dedicated. But now 137 years later, it's just indifferent. It's not dedicated.
Wait, did I jump on you?
No, that's fine. I do that mumble thing after the punchline to like the trail off.
See, the joke there, folks, is that it was dedicated back in 1885, but now
it's kind of, somewhere between apathy and indifferent. Yeah. And finally,
there we go.
Happy birthday to Michael Jackson's son, Blanket, who turns 20 today. Yeah, he does. Although I'm not 100% sure that's Michael's kid because he looks more like an Afghan.
Okay. That was good. We got into it.
And happy birthday, Blanket.
Yeah, man.
How old are we?
Crazy. How old are we is right.
That he's 20. 20. He can almost buy alcohol.
That was the little kid that was covered in the blanket.
That was hanging over the balcony, yeah.
Yeah, that he dangled over the balcony because he's a good father. You remember that? Like, what was he thinking? What the hell? We just let anybody have kids, I guess. But what the hell?
Well, because it was also the combination of you're showing him to the press, but you put a blanket on and said, like, I don't want you to see him, but here he is.
So I'm going to dangle him over like a 20-story balcony in Belgrade or wherever the hell he was. He was over in Europe somewhere.
It might have just been a second story, but that's enough to kill him.
It's enough to kill him. He was a little kid.
You could have been standing on top of a Ford F-150 and it would have been enough to kill him.
All right, I have no moment of joy. As a matter of fact,
Are you kidding? Why don't you just go to the live cam of the Russia-Ukraine situation? What's Sergey saying over there? That's our moment of joy.
Hold on.
Finally, those Ukrainians are getting their comeuppance and letting those poor those two provinces go. They never belong with Ukraine anyway. They belong with Russia.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what I was afraid we were going to get. The anti-Americanism, the pro-Putin right-wing dogma of horrid AM talk radio. Come on now, so give me your spiel. Give me what you got in all your talking points in your email today that tells you exactly what to think about how you would rather be Putin than, come on, tell me. Give me all of this bullshit. Give me all of your pro-Putin bullshit since you're a big Putin guy.
So here's what I'm surprised at is when the Soviet Union dissolved in the early 90s, they they just let all these republics go. You telling me you couldn't roll over like a Lithuania or an Estonia, like you had to let all of them go? Now Ukraine is one of the bigger ones. It's not the biggest, but
yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, it's the most populous, but Kazakhstan,
44 million people.
Yeah, but Kazakhstan is like more geographically big.
Ukraine is the largest country in Europe.
But out of the former Soviet republics, Kazakhstan is larger.
Yeah, but there's a whole lot of desert in Kazakhstan. There's a whole lot
true.
That's nothing. That's like saying Alaska is the largest state in America.
Fair comparison. I just didn't want to be corrected by 10 people over there in the where's the comments?
I got you. Oh, here. We'll get them over for you. All right, go ahead. Okay.
So it's not that I want Ukraine to start getting eat up in chunks by Russia. It's just I don't want to stop them. Fine. Maybe we should send them some guns and y'all can go fight it out yourselves. But not my problem. Not my problem.
Who's arguing that point?
Like who's arguing what point?
That's basically, I mean, there's not going to be any American military boots on the ground there. If anything, we're going to lend them air support and we're going to give them supplies and, NATO troops will bolster the Ukrainian defenses. But I mean, I don't think anybody is thinking that we're actually going to move a kid from a base in Tennessee over to the Ukraine, start another Vietnam type situation.
Yeah, we better not. But no,
not. That's not even on the table. That's, we're what's on the table at the moment, as far as direct American action, is completely strangling them with sanctions, just completely cutting off that fucking pipeline that they have, and forcing, Germany's willing to do it. Germany is willing to do it. Do you know what that will do? You know what the result of that? The pipeline. You're an AM talk radio. You guys are all obsessed with this pipeline. That pipeline will get Putin cutting off. That pipeline will get Putin dragged through the streets by a mob of oligarch-funded peasants. That's what will happen, because if we that's the bulk of the income that Russian claims right now. The fact that 95% of the crude oil that goes into Europe comes directly through that pipeline, and as long as Germany says it's all right, yeah, that's the big sanction that we're waiting to see. But I don't think Biden has the nuts to actually do that. That is the kind of move, the kind of sanction that Putin believes we would never do.
I don't think it would work. I don't think us trying to cut that off would work. It would hurt Germany. It would hurt a lot of people who are.
No, it really wouldn't. Germany has already said. Well, you're right. Now Germany could be bluffing as well, James, because this is all a big international poker game at this start. But Germany has already said that they have the oil reserves. They have not as large as we have. I think we have 65 million barrels in our strategic oil reserve, but Germany has enough. And, people are like, oh, then our gas prices will go up. No, they won't. We will. But Biden has already said that he would be willing to tap into the strategic oil reserve. And thank God, because this is exactly the sort of situation that we have it for. Have it. Yes, of course.
No, I disagree. I disagree when Trump did it. I disagree when Obama did it. I disagree when Bush did it.
No. They've never tapped into our strategic oil reserves. It's only been talked about. It's never been tapped into. We've never stopped importing oil. No, we've always imported our oil. We export. I think we're in the top 5 of oil.
That has nothing to do with imports or exports.
No, it does. It does, because we have enough oil here to supply ourselves. We could rely on our own oil. We do not have to be on the foreign oil tit, but we just keep all of our oil hidden in barrels underground in Tennessee. That's what we do, because we're thinking there's going to be some nuclear apocalypse and we're going to need to run the country on our strategic oil reserve. That's not going to happen. I mean,
I'm pretty sure we've dipped into it before.
I know. No, we have not. I mean, you know what? I might be wrong. I don't believe we have. I do not believe we have, because we didn't do it during the Gulf War when prices were skyrocketing up over $100 a barrel. Why would we? I mean, that would have been the time.
We did. We have. I'm pretty sure like the last 3 presidents, I think Trump even did it.
No, they've talked about it. They've said, everybody has said they've been willing to do it, but no, that's always been sort of a step too far. Because what that would do is that would hurt too many of our American oligarchs who are in the oil and gas.
So it happened once in 1991 at the beginning of Operation Desert Storm. It happened again in September 2005. That was after Hurricane Katrina and Rita crushed oil producing areas. And then June of 2011. So yeah, George W. Bush and Obama tapped into it.
Hold on. Momentarily weekly disruptions due to, yeah, okay. So no, we're talking about for the long haul. We're talking about relying on our strategic. That's what I'm talking about. Understanding that we are not going to be using foreign oil for a period of time, not just because a hurricane came in and knocked out a bunch of refineries. You're right. You are technically right. But the play is that we have this so that we can rely on it in order to.
No, that's no. That is a horrible misuse of it. The strategic petroleum oil reserve. So when World War III or whatever pops off, and who cares who's pumping oil at this point? You just can't assume you're going to get it, and it's for the tanks and the airplanes and the boats and the aircraft carriers, and it's to keep the military running when supplies go dark in a war.
Let's see here.
It's been misused by both George W. Bush and Barack Obama to kind of finagle the oil market for the civilians, but it's supposed to be primarily, I think, exclusively for defense purposes. And
Armageddon type situations. That's why we have
Armageddon situation. A hurricane's not an Armageddon situation.
No, it's not. You're right. And if it's, you tap into it, just for a couple of 1,000 barrels or something, that's nothing. We're talking about 65 million barrels, enough to fuel this country for 5 years. That's what.
No, that'd be like 5 days. We use like 11 million barrels a day.
The reserves are supposed to be able to support this country. Now, it would be, we'd have to cut back. We'd be forced to be energy efficient at that point.
It's not for civilians.
It is. It is for yes it is. Yes it is. I mean, we just have a fundamental difference here in what this is for. I mean, I've been watching stuff about this all day. I mean, this is the big talk about, whether or not the cutting off of the Nord Stream sanctions, which is what they believe will actually bring down Putin's reign. What would happen?
Won't. Look, dude, the Nord Stream just got completed like last year. Right. So you mean to tell me up until last year there wasn't a mechanism by which Putin could deliver oil and gas to Europe? No, he had other pipelines he was using. If you look at a map of pipelines in the United States or Europe or most developed areas, it looks like a plate of spaghetti. He still has ways to get them gas. If not, he'll put it on a boat and shove it over there.
Well, cutting off the pipeline.
It'll be a pain in the ass, and it will raise prices.
Shutting off the Russian oil consumption in Europe altogether. Just using the Nord Stream as an example is because that's the big one that they're talking about.
He don't care, man. He'll sell it to China. He'll sell it to Iran.
It's not about him caring. It's about his bosses caring. He has bosses. He has oligarchs who are in charge of Russia. And as long as money is not interrupted, he's good with them. This is an attempt to disrupt the relationship between the oligarchs and Putin, and that's the only way to bring this guy down.
Yeah, Pugs, but this is Lucy in the football. This is what they say about. Did it work against Venezuela, or is the Maduro regime still in power? We've been doing sanctions like this against Iran for 20, 30 years. Has it worked? No, it hadn't.
We've been doing feckless sanctions.
Our sanctions against North Korea haven't toppled that dude either. I'm not looking at cookie. I have these Captain's wafers with like cheese sludge in the middle.
Explain to me why you're so pro Putin. Why you're so pro Russia.
No, I'm not pro Russia. I'm indifferent. If these two Russian former
You're
Soviet republics,
indifferent. You're indifferent.
sort of,
You
yeah.
don't think that he's a problem for the West. You don't think that he is an ongoing thorn in the side. You don't think that he is dedicated to creating chaos and wreaking havoc against the American people because of some long-standing KGB grudge that he has. You don't
No,
believe.
he has an interest in creating chaos and discord within America, so it weakens us, so we can go reassemble the Soviet Union. But he's no threat to us, and him invading Ukraine is not a threat to us.
Is he a threat to Europe? Is he a
Well,
threat?
the Ukrainian part of Europe, yeah, Belarus, Estonia,
Okay.
Latvia, Lithuania, yeah, those places.
Okay, so if he's a threat to Europe, then he's a threat to us because that's basically an extension of us.
Isn't Russia part of Europe? I mean, every
Barely.
time, yeah, I don't know, barely. But look, anytime there's an internecine conflict between two European powers, I don't care. I mean, I care very little. How about that? No, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not pro Putin.
Well,
But I also recognize that if you put sanctions on him and you cripple the economy within Russia and especially Ukraine, which they're already in the toilet. No, it wouldn't be a great thing.
Be a great thing. Be a wonderful thing. First of all, Russia's economy is already pretty healthily crippled. They are not economically booming. And that's why he's making this move now, because he's losing support of the people. And one of the things that Putin has always been able to do when he's poll numbers are down is rally the people with grand gestures and reminiscences of the old Soviet Empire. That's always been his play to the people. We will once again be like, we are the bear is sleeping, or whatever the hell that whole thing that he does. And if you listen to his speech today, and we watched the entire 1 hour and 10-minute speech live on the show, that's all it was. It was a history lesson about how great that was, a speech directed to the people of Russia to try and gin them up to support him here. That's the other thing he's got left. He's got the support of the oligarchs for now. But if through sanctions you can fuck with the money train, he's going to be in trouble. And he's not bluffing. He doesn't believe that the West will do anything if he takes Kiev.
We won't.
And I think we will. I think they absolutely will.
Well, if you count sanctions as something, that's
nothing. I think NATO will probably defend Kiev. If it gets to a point where we're not talking about just the Donbas region anymore, and he's going to use the other half of his 200,000 troops, the ones that are just across the border from Belarus to the Donbas. I mean, he's got 100,000 troops that are, directly north of Kiev. And if all he wants is the Donbas, then why the hell does he have his troops spread out across the length? He wants all of Ukraine. And if he goes after Kiev, then there's going to be a problem.
Okay, but let's go through the record of history here.
Kiev. It goes through Kiev. We're not supposed to say Kiev. That's how the Russians.
I'm sticking with Kiev. You can't just change it midstream.
Of course, because you're a Putin apologist. Continue.
Continue. I didn't know that was a pro-Putin stance.
It is Kiev, K-I-E-V, and pronouncing it Kiev is how the Russians refer to that place. Kyiv, K-Y-I-V, Kyiv is how the Ukrainians refer to it. So, yeah.
What do the Americans say?
We've been saying for years, chicken Kiev. But
yeah, I'm sticking with Kiev then.
Only recently are all of the president and everybody calling it Kyiv, and it's been driving me nuts, so I had to find out why that is.
Okay, so in 2008, when Putin goes down to Georgia, not the state, but, the Caucasus, then he takes South Ossetia and Abkhazia, we turn around and we put crushing sanctions on him, and boy, that really showed him. No, it didn't. He still has that. So then when he went into eastern Ukraine and annexed the Crimea, we put crushing sanctions on him. And boy, that really showed him and weakened him. No, it didn't. He survived it and has been stronger since. So it's just going to be the same thing here. I don't understand why you're excited about how we're going to get him with these sanctions.
Well,
do you think he's worried about sanctions? You think Putin's like, oh, no, please don't sanction me?
Well, there are some major differences between the 2014 incursion and taking of Crimea and Sevastopol. That was a time when the Ukrainian president was a Kremlin puppet. That was a guy who wasn't... Putin knew that was there for the taking because there would be no Ukrainian resistance to that. The whole hubbub about that came from the West. It wasn't necessarily coming from Ukraine. There were some Ukrainian nationalists who put up small fights, and those fights have been ongoing now for the last 8 years. But the difference now is that there is a pro-Western, elected by a population that seems to want to lean towards Europe, president in power. And this Zelensky, and this president has spent the last, since 2019, building up a Ukrainian defense force, and they're going to use it. So this one is going to be a little bit different. Now, the argument that I might even be able to understand the argument that the Donbas region might not be worth it to the rest of Europe to get involved. If they want to take, Donetsk, if they want to take Mariupol, if they want to take, those big cities in that part of the country, the rest of Europe might go, all right. But if they get to Kiev and they're on the doorstep of Poland, yeah, you're going to see Western Europe rise up. That's when you're going to see NATO be mobilized. Now, I don't know what's happening now. I haven't been watching, but it should begin with airstrikes, and the airstrikes will be to take out any Ukrainian defense positions. That is strategically how it seems like it would play out. However, the Russian troops have already moved into Donetsk. They moved in tonight, at least according to some social media reports and video. But again, we don't know what we're looking at. Just because Al Jazeera says that, these are tanks rolling into Donetsk, we don't know that tanks rolling into Donetsk. But we'll see. I mean, it's definitely heating up in the next 24 hours. We're going to see what kind of a fight Ukraine can put up.
It has been my observation this is my 20th year in broadcasting, 2022. I'll hold your applause. I know.
20 years.
Wow.
Look at you.
Thank you. Oh my shucks. Stop it. Sanctions never work. Sanctions are something that always get thrown around like, well, if you do this, we're going to crush them with sanctions. And then it never works. And then we just come back.
After World War I worked.
Yes.
We got Hitler.
Hey, yes. Exactly. So we did sanctions on Germany, so that'll show them. So we don't have to worry about some, militaristic strongman rising up and invading his neighbors anymore because we put sanctions on him. It's like the opposite happened. You calcified him in his position because you have sanctions. You weaken not him. You weaken everyone around him. Any potential rivals, any rebellion that would want to pop up, or any coup. There's less resources to sponsor a coup. No, whenever you put sanctions on a country, you and cripple the economy, you make it less likely that the authoritarian strongman in power is going to be overthrown. Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, basically every time it's tried, that's the result. And I don't understand why you think this will be different. We're going to get them this time.
Because it's Europe, and all of the neighbors are essentially in lockstep. Now,
right.
I am interested in hearing why you hate NATO so much and why you don't support NATO as an organization. I mean, throughout the Cold War and ever since, there hasn't been a war in Europe since 1945. So explain to me why NATO is such a failure in your eyes. Yes, I am leading you. I have no idea if that's how he feels. I just expect him to...
No, I don't hate NATO.
Russian agent.
No, I don't hate NATO or feel like it's necessarily a failure. It's just the same way is I'm indifferent toward the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. I'm indifferent toward NATO. Yes, NATO works until it doesn't. NATO works until what's going to happen now? We are if it really is that big of a deal, then Poland and Germany and whoever else that is adjacent to that in NATO will have
Slovenia,
Estonia. In NATO? Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I think we got all the Baltics at this point, didn't we?
Everyone but Belarus, and in Belarus,
we don't want Belarus.
Yeah, but they signed a NATO accord in 1992, and they were supposed to join NATO. They were supposed to be allowed to join NATO within 5 years, but then they turned all heel. The Kremlin got involved and put a bunch of puppets in there. Yeah. And then we didn't. So only the Ukraine, because Ukraine had been a puppet state of the Kremlin for so long, and Belarus, those are the only two countries that you would never think, like Estonia, Lithuania. Those are all NATO nations.
So what we have here is an internecine European squabble where you say NATO worked, but I say in World War II we were fighting side by side with the Russians, and rightfully so, to abolish Hitler and the Nazis. And so what maybe NATO has turned what was once our ally into our greatest enemy. That doesn't sound like a raging success.
No,
But I
no.
mean,
Come
again,
on, you know your World War II history. The only reason we were fighting side by side with Uncle Joe was because
Uncle Joe
That's
stuff.
what we called him. That's what we called him.
Did
Uncle
we
Joe.
really?
We tried to soften the threat of communism by propagandizing him as good old lovable Uncle Joe. But the true reason that Uncle Joe was in that fight was because Hitler was a direct threat to him. If Hitler wasn't a direct threat to the Russian people Hitler saw Russia as the crown jewel. He wanted Russia almost more than he wanted the rest of Europe. So, I mean, that was a self-serving sort of thing. And then once the war was over, it was like back to hating them, back to, them thinking they wanted all of Europe. That was always the threat with communism that and they did. After World War II, that's when we saw the explosion of the Soviet Union. They took over all the Baltic countries. They took all the Slovenias. And, that's when Soviet expansionism occurred. So, they were never going to be in NATO. NATO was formed specifically to keep them in check. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, and you can also kind of to see where there's crossing of boundaries here, where like where does Europe start and end, but also Russia is part of like a larger Slavic cultural identity or Slavic heritage, to where they have more in common with these other countries, these other Slavic countries, like a Poland, like Czechs are Slavic, Slovenes, Slovaks, the Bosnians, not the Romanians and not the Hungarians. But
if you consider the center of Russia to be Moscow, then absolutely. But because it's such a massive country, you've also got the Turkmenistans and you've got the Kazakhs, and all of those.
Yeah, but those
places.
are different countries now. Turkmens split off, Tajiks split off.
Culturally, the average Russian person feels they have more in common with the countries that you just mentioned than they do Turkmenistan.
Exactly. So, look, if the Serbians want to go deal with their cousins that are jacking around to their northeast, that's something that they could probably handle without people from all sides of the globe getting involved.
We don't care about them. All people from all sides of the globes don't care about,
I'm not trying to minimize
or Chechnya.
Right. I'm not trying to minimize that things, if Putin got more power, that things would be worse, generally speaking, for the people he got power over. But if it really is that big of a deal, Europe can take care of their own crap themselves.
So you don't have any concern. There is no reasonable concern on your part that, let's say that he gets to take Ukraine back unabated, even though that they have expressed now that they want to be a part of the Western world. They want to be a part of the European Union. They have designs on being a NATO member. So let's say he takes them and they do nothing. Do you worry then about Poland? Do you worry then about Hungary? Do you worry about all those other former Soviet states? What about Germany?
There's a whole lot of variables, but let's walk through them.
You have to stop him before. No. I mean, where do you draw the line? I think Ukraine is the line to end this nouveau Russian expansionism.
Okay, and it might be, but that doesn't mean we necessarily have to get involved in a war to do it. The whole reason Putin didn't go into Ukraine 10 years ago or 20 years ago is because he thought the Ukrainians would fight back enough that it would be economically a loser for him. Well, and also in the greater power struggle with him and the other oligarchs. So he's either assuming Ukraine has gotten weak enough or he's gotten strong enough that that's less of a problem and he thinks he can take them. Now, if he takes Ukraine and they say, oh, you know what, we're not going to fight him, then you know what, screw Ukraine. Then you deserve to be under Putin's heel. Now, if he takes Ukraine and they start doing this like Red Dawn resistance where Ukrainians are shooting Russians, it'll be like Afghanistan and they'll be able to run them out of there in a few years if it takes that long.
Yeah, I disagree on that one. I talked about that earlier today. It'll be nothing like Afghanistan. This is not, they're not moving machinery 3,000 miles.
It should be worse than Afghanistan because you're dealing.
It's a home game. It's basically a home game for Russia. They're not invading a foreign land that they have absolutely no familiarity with. They know everything about that place. The Russian army used to be stationed there.
Right, but it's also not a bunch of illiterate goat herders with AKs that are defending the land. And plus, look, Poland, Germany, all you goobers over there, let them take care of it. And the reason why I give a rip about the whole NATO situation is, when has it popped off that we got into a war and all our NATO partners came to our aid? Because they didn't really help us that much when it came to, Afghanistan or Iraq. But I can't blame them, because that didn't really rise to the occasion. And this kind of feels like that. This doesn't
Also,
feel like something.
that part of the world by charter is not what NATO is supposed to be involved in. But NATO forces were involved in the Middle East begrudgingly because of pressure from the United States, but certainly not as a full-throated fighting force. They're not supposed to be in that part of the world.
Right.
That was, that NATO is supposed to defend Germany and Austria and England. And, that's what NATO is about. NATO is about.
I mean, kind of. At first, NATO was supposed to defend us from East Germany. Yeah. It's evolved. Yeah. It's not the same thing.
We have African nations that are in NATO. I mean, NATO is now, it's no longer just a North Atlantic thing. It is spread all over the world.
Yeah, isn't like Australia in NATO or something like that?
Yeah. And, and now Australia, we're going to have an issue with Taiwan. If China, thankfully, I have not seen what the Chinese ambassador at the UN Security Council said today. And I'm sorry, I was trying to pay attention to that, but he came on just as we were coming on, and I didn't get to see it. But that's the important one. What did China say about the events of today? Because it had always been believed, at least for the couple of weeks prior to this, that, Putin was doing Xi Jinping a favor by, not doing anything until the Olympics ended. Because, that's a rule. That's like a bullshit rule of the Olympics, that you're not supposed to start any kind of wars during the Olympics. And Putin met with Ping 4 weeks ago, and all of these things leaked out that, Putin's got the backing of Ping as long as he waits till after the Olympics. And then last night, the official, whoever the person, I don't know how the Chinese fucking thing works, but the official Chinese state tweeted out that it is a deeply held belief in China, which is ironic when you consider the Hong Kong and Taiwan situation. But they said it's a deeply held belief of the Chinese state that borders are sacrosanct and that they intend to defend the sovereignty of nations. And that's a indirect opposition to what everybody thought China was going to say about the Putin thing. So that's why we all wanted to hear what China was going to say at the UN Security Council meeting today. Would they back up this tweet that was sent out yesterday? Or now would they offer some sort of support for Putin? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, they don't want to get involved. They don't care. It doesn't affect them either way. In fact, they probably prefer, for the more chaos, the better. They probably prefer for oil to get cut off to Germany. And so then not only is Europe weaker, but Russia's weaker, and they got to sell the oil to somebody. So they're now about to get some sweet barrels of oil at a discount from Putin on the black market.
Chaos. China isn't like Putin. Putin wants chaos because there's not a whole lot of fucking mattresses and electronics coming out of Russia to the Western world. China is a part of a global economy. They make a whole lot of money maintaining the status quo. China doesn't want Europe thrown upside down.
Yeah, but China isn't selling much to Russia or Ukraine or Poland or Belarus.
No, but they are the rest of Europe. They are to all the NATO nations, and they are to us, and they are, so follow the money.
Cool. So when things get blown up and some production goes offline in Europe, it'll be picked up by a willing participant in China.
That's right. Slave labor. A bunch of 14-year-old Uyghurs will be building your Mercedes Benzes or whatever the hell they're going to put out there. I do want to check in on one thing. This is something fun that we've been watching. I've been obsessed with.
But you know how we don't care when there's a major conflict between the Hutus and Sisi tribes or whatever, and Rwanda or Uganda. Right, exactly. Well, look, these white people from Europe, I don't care if they go shoot at each other for a couple months here.
See, I'm never going to go visit the land of the Hutu. But you know what?
You're not going to Ukraine.
I will probably but I will possibly go to Germany. I will possibly go back to Europe. I intend to go back to Europe. So, okay. What are we looking at?
They don't need our help. They can take care of themselves. If they need to borrow some missiles or maybe a couple airstrikes, that's a solid maybe. I'd rather sell it to them.
Yeah, no, we already provided to them through NATO. The NATO fighting force is the most intimidating fighting force on the planet. If you were to pull them all together, there isn't a country. I mean,
that's us. We're the most intimidating fighting force on the planet.
uh,
Dude, we have like 7 aircraft carriers, and there's only like one other country that has 2.
no, yes, we supply, I believe it's 2 million of the soldiers that make up NATO. I was looking at this earlier today. But, there's also 50 other countries that provide 200,000. So, I mean, there's
Nerds.
us and then there's the accumulative of everybody else. So, but yes, we are absolutely, but dude, we're the big dog. That's what we are. We want to be a superpower. We have the largest defense budget in the world for this specific thing. And if we're not going to use it, and if we're just going to bitch and moan about where our defense dollars go, then you know what? Let's have Medicare for all instead. Let's put that money somewhere else to help the people of America instead of just putting it into tanks that are stationed in Turkey. Because honestly, that's where our defense budget goes. All right, hold on. Let's look at flight radar. You ever watch this? This is like my new favorite thing. I'm obsessed with this.
Ain't nothing going over Ukraine right now, is there?
Right. Look at this. Everybody is going
around it.
Everybody is going around. Now these are some interesting things. Okay, so here is this is.
Oh man, I love this map.
This is Sevastopol right here. So this is the base of the Russian Navy. This is the biggest. They control the Black Sea. There is currently a Russian ordered no-fly order over the Sea of Azov, which is right here, and this is the Donbas. It's right off of the coast of the Donbas. So this area here. So this area is basically the Donbas, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is basically what they're going to fight over right now. So nothing is flying over here. Now let's see. What is this guy doing? Who is this? Okay, that's a U.S. Air Force plane in the middle of the Black Sea. Now this is why this has been interesting, because we have been watching.
What a great map!
Oh yeah, we've been watching Russian jets and U.S. And NATO jets. We've also seen a number of UN jets flying just around this area. Okay, so there's a U.S. jet. That is a U.S. Air Force jet there in the middle of the Black Sea, right off the coast of Sevastopol. So this is no fly. He goes in here, we're going to have some problems. Now let's see. Let's see how close are any of these. See if any of these are Russian military. All right, let's see what this guy is. Okay, I don't know what that is. That seems commercial.
Well, that's a domestic flight, because Grozny is the capital of Chechnya.
Here,
Grozny to Moscow.
This is the other thing you need to look for. Okay, so here, this is the United States Air Force jet. Look at how close it is to the Russian base. This guy's a troublemaker. I don't know what this guy's getting into, but I'm certain that they're watching him.
Dick move. It's kind of a dick move.
So there's no information about where it's going, and Chechnya. So it took off from the basin. I believe that's Yugoslavia. So Chechnya.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, they take off. You can track them from their bases. So
look like Crete or something.
It's Bulgaria. No, it's not Bulgaria. It took off from. Is it Yugoslavia?
Go down. No, now we're past Yugoslavia now.
Oh my God, that dude came from far away.
Look, Crete.
Dr. Evil's Island. I don't know what that is.
See, I said it. I saw it on the map. It's Crete.
No. All right.
Crete. Isn't that Crete? It's either Crete or Cyprus. I get those mixed up.
Somewhere down there, whatever it is, he flew a long way to do a flyby on the base of the Russian Navy. Okay, so let's figure out, what is this guy? All right, that guy's just what is he? That's Azure Air. Okay, that's nothing. All right, so we got one American military jet. I am interested in seeing if we've got any Russian Navy in the air. There was Russian Navy in the air earlier. Ural Airlines. No. Yeah, probably not. These are
all 737s, huh?
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. What is this guy? It'll say RU in the calls.
Cool.
When I hover over it. Yeah. Okay. So
all right. So what's that one up the river there? Oh, to the left.
Over here.
Yeah. Is that something right there?
Kiev. That's probably just a regular old Kiev. Yeah. That's going from Kiev
to Warsaw. Okay.
That's a regular. It's probably got all of the American diplomats who were evacuated from Kiev.
Getting the hell out. Yeah.
All right, now this area right here, this is interesting. This is Poland because this is where we've got all of our American NATO bases right here.
Right.
This is
Yes.
on the western. Now, earlier today, there was a number of United States Air Force planes in the air flying up and down the border. So let's see what that is. Okay,
Wait, is Bob in here? Because I think Bob like lived in Belarus for a minute. Bob, are you still in here?
Let's see what this guy is. Okay, we got no. All right. It is the middle of the night, though, too. I mean, it is. Okay, so
what is that? 10 hours ahead of us?
I want to say it's 8 for Moscow and 7 for Kiev.
I thought it was 8 for London.
I have 6 for London, 5 for London. I don't know. What is this guy?
Off.
This guy flying around Gdansk. All right. How about this guy? Where's this guy doing? No. All right. So there's not a lot of air traffic. There's not a lot of shit going on. Who's this guy? This guy's
Belarus.
No, he's just flying into London. All right. But yeah, it is interesting. This map changes and it's updated constantly. Now what we're looking at here doesn't necessarily doesn't necessarily tell us every plane that's in the air.
Hey, why don't you hit refresh and see if that Air Force plane moved?
It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
It moves on its own. So
really?
It moves. Yeah. Here,
it's so cool.
Yeah, it'll track itself through. It's still here. It's moving fairly slow. It's taking pictures. It's looking.
It's listening to cell phone towers and radio signals and crap.
Just because we do not see any Russian Navy, which we saw here last night, there was a whole bunch of Russian Navy jets flying up and down this coast here. They could have their transponders off. Like, for instance, I can't imagine that this U.S. military, this Air Force plane of the United States flying this close to Sevastopol with their transponder on is trying to be as above board as possible. That means they want the world to know that we're taking a close look. Now, just because we don't see any Russian Navy jets around him, he's probably surrounded. He's probably being tailed by a whole bunch of Russian Navy jets that just don't have their transponders on because, they do not have to keep their transponders on. They do on takeoff and landing, or before they reach their mission, whatever the mission is, whatever the sortie or whatever you want to call it in the parlance of this, military action. They turn the transponders off when they're beginning to engage in whatever their mission is. But until that point, they leave the transponders on because these fucking planes crash all the time and they need to know where they are.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah. So there's this Homer jet, this call sign Homer 21, United States Air Force. It's a Boeing RC-13-5V rivet joint. I don't know what that means. If we had some Air Force guys, and maybe they could tell us what it is. It may be a listening plane. It may be an observation plane, something like that. But it's not alone. There is no way it's that close to the Russian Navy base of operations, and it's completely alone. It's just there's Russian planes in the air that don't have their transponders on.
So the RC-135 is built by Boeing. It's a reconnaissance aircraft.
Yeah, so that's what he's doing. Yep. Look at him. Look how close he is to the Russian Navy. He's taking pictures. He's taking a look-see.
Yeah, and he's got his transponder on, so if he goes down, everybody knows.
Yeah, the world knows. He's like, we're not hiding it. I'm coming close. I'm looking. Come on, take a shot, motherfucker. That's basically what he's saying. I'm sure the pilot and the crew on board are like, all right, let's not do that. But yeah, this is okay. So that's an interesting one. Oh wait, something new pop up. What are these? Let's take a look at what these are. Okay. What is this guy? Where's this guy coming from? No, he's nothing. Got a whole bunch here.
Whoa, there was an NA right there.
Right here?
No, the other one. You hit one that said NA on it, which means we don't have any information on where it's going.
Yeah, which means none of your business. Which
right.
Means
so which one was that? Which one was that?
Not a commercial flight.
No, not that one.
Moscow. Okay. Let me get closer. See, like earlier today, what is this?
There it is.
Photo not available. Okay. So what this means is this could be a drone. This could be a military drone or a helicopter. Actually, it is a helicopter. That's a military helicopter. Because you can see the blades spinning.
It's got a different icon.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's a military helicopter.
This map rules.
Yeah, it does. It's fun. It's fun. And when the war pops off, we'll be able to watch. All
Right,
kinds
it's like playing little army man.
that we probably shouldn't be able to watch. All right, let's pull back up. Let's see here. Oh, look, see, we're making progress. Homer 21 is moving out.
I hear you.
One of
Cool.
the interesting things that was happening over here with the 3 Air Force jets that were flying the western border of Ukraine from their bases in Poland is
Mhm.
that they were flying stacked on top of each other. They were flying the exact same path so that with the transponder map, it looked like it was just one plane until you zoomed all the way in. And then you saw that, oh no, it's just 3 planes flying the
In
exact same
formation.
thing, one at 30,000, one at 20,000, and one at 10,000. And they were all U.S. Air Force planes. All right. This is, you can watch this at home. This is flightradar24.com. You can't watch it for a long period of time because they'll black you out and then you have to pay. But, if you just watch it for like 5-10 minutes at a time and then take like a minute break and then come back, you get a fresh 10 minutes. So,
Sweet.
all right. That's it. I got nothing else other than I'm probably going to be up. What's this guy? What's this guy? What's this guy?
Well, look, I can go ahead and tell you what's going to happen. Not that I'm some kind of genius. It's just we've reported on these things. It's same thing will happen when they took the Eastern Province and the Crimean Peninsula. Nothing. And that's why he's doing it. There's enough people that are pro-Russia there that they're not going to be able to mount. There's not enough of a grassroots resistance. So he'll take the parts that he can. He'll leave the rest intact. He doesn't want to start a war. The Russian economy has like shrunk. And for like a while there, it was under like $1 trillion a year. You know how our economy's like 30 trillion bucks. His got under $1 trillion for a second there. And I think it's above it now. But he doesn't really have the money to be spending on some sort of occupation and like a Red Dawn scenario, for lack of a better term. So he'll take the easy stuff and then he'll stop there. The rest of the world will gripe and they'll do sanctions, but they'll forget about it.
Okay, so what you're saying is you are saying that he is going to only stick to the Donbas, Luhansk, Donetsk, and Mariupol. Those are the major cities. He's going to take those. He's the DPR in Donetsk and the LPR in Luhansk will then serve as the administration for the area. Will he pretend that they are their own independent sovereign nations, or will he make an attempt to bring them directly into Russia? Because as of right now, he is recognizing them as their own independent, non-Ukrainian nations.
Yeah, so he'll do exactly what he did with the Crimean Peninsula and that other region that broke off, and it's what they're doing with Kosovo now. They pretend like it's its own little autonomous area,
It's
but
ruled through the Kremlin.
but the defense will be the responsibility of the Russians, which means it's a de facto republic of the Soviet or Russia.
Okay, so your belief is that this is all he wants and that this is what he's going to take.
Today, he wants the whole damn thing. He's going to take what he can without getting in trouble.
Because you see, he's got 100,000 troops from here, Belarus, from protecting the Belarusian border, all the way to where this side, the Donbas, 100,000 start. Okay, so these guys are going to do nothing in your estimation. They're just there as a threat because how close Kiev is to where the border is. I mean, that's
50 miles,
dude.
Yeah, it's like from me to
capital.
you.
Yeah, it's accessible by water through the rivers. That's why it was the Viking capital, the capital of the Rus.
Right, Kiev is a sitting duck that Russia can take anytime he wants. He can take it if he wants. The problem is there's enough people that do not want to be a part of Russia that they have guns and they will shoot at the Russian army in the street.
Yes,
and that's not what he wants. And
Kiev, the most populous area of the Kiev metropolitan area, is responsible for Zelensky being elected president. That's where all the votes came from. These are the people that all want to be in the West. So, yeah, it will be different. So you do not think he's going to take it, or you do think he's going to take it?
I think that is the card he plays if something goes wrong. So
because that's the linchpin. I believe that Kiev is the linchpin that will get NATO involved.
Yes, and he doesn't want to get NATO involved. He wants NATO to be able to say, "Ooh, we're going to send you a harshly worded letter, and we're going to send you some sanctions, and we're going to have some votes in the UN, and that'll show you." That's all. That's what he wants. He wants sanctions. Please give him sanctions. Whatever.
Want to know a fun fact about Kiev? And I know this from my Russian history. This is, it's spelled Dnieper River. So Dnieper River. It's actually pronounced Dnieper. This is the Dnieper River. And the Dnieper River and the Dniester River are the only two rivers in the entire whole of this part of the world that run north and south. All the other rivers run east and west. The Dnieper and the Dniester.
So cool.
Isn't that cool?
Okay. Yeah, I certainly. What about the Volga? Doesn't that run north?
Nah, I think the Volga. Well, though, maybe in some parts, it might jog north for a little bit, but essentially all the rivers in this part of the world run east to
Now I
west.
got to look up Volga River because you're messing with my head here.
Where's the Volga? Isn't that up here? That's
You just got to scoot over a little bit.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Is this this? Okay, so this is what is this? This is the Don River. This is the Volga. Well, you know what? Honestly, the Volga looks like it runs north. What the hell did I learn in Russian? Oh, maybe because it breaks to the northeast or something. And then, okay, yeah, and see now this way it goes. But no, it runs north for a good period. Look, it runs more north than it runs more east and west.
Yeah, I don't really know my geography in that area well, but the one thing I do know is the Volga River.
Well, that was a test question when I was in high school. The Dnieper and the Dniester are the only two.
I would never pronounce that correctly. I would never have gotten
Well, I had a Russian history teacher who was actually from Russia, Mr. Krapowskis.
Sweet.
There's the Volga. All right. We got nothing else. There doesn't seem to be anything happening right now. Let's see what the what is the time in Kyiv. And I'm going to spell it Kyiv. I'm going to spell it the right way, the respectful way. It's 6:09 a.m. So it is early morning. It is 6:09.
So they're 8 hours ahead of us. You were right, 8 hours.
And it is 7:09 in Moscow right now. So who knows? Tomorrow maybe be the day. I need to go find out. I need to go find out exactly what China said because I don't know what China said. All right. Hold on. Look at that. We didn't have all that much. We didn't disagree all that much.
We don't. No, dude, I'm telling you, we agree on like 95% of things. It's kind of boring, actually.
Holy shit. Bitcoin is falling apart. It just caught my Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down, baby.
What's it at?
It's hold on. Let me here. Gotta pull this up. Okay, let's see where it's at.
I'm gonna get a refill.
Don't worry about it. It's at 36. It's down 5.89% for the day. It is down almost 10% over the past week.
Wow, it's 36,000?
36.7. Yeah, it's at 36.7 currently.
Dang.
Yeah, right. There you go. But hey, time to buy the dip. It's about to shoot up again. That's how this works. Oh, please.
Until
gold,
it doesn't.
Did you see the price of gold today? Price of gold is through the roof. I know you got all that buried gold out there in the barn in Tyler.
Yeah.
Gold and silver are skyrocketing and Bitcoin is tanking.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, classic money. All right. Thank you, James.
Yeah, that was fun, man. We actually did something smart. We didn't just do fart jokes and sex jokes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm obsessed with this. I am absolutely obsessed with the history that I was watching today. Totally obsessed. And now I got to go watch the UN Security Council meeting and take notes on what China said because I have no idea what they said. But they're not trending. So I don't know. Maybe they were just wishy-washy. Maybe
were we just talking about Ukraine like a couple weeks ago with the brides? This is going to kill the mail order bride market.
The Ukraine, it is.
Yeah.
Or drop in prices.
Oh, because you're getting the hell out, right? Yeah.
Everything must go. Yeah. All right. Thank you, James. There he goes. The great James Parker joins us every night for Pugs and Parker here at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, Monday through Thursday evenings. I'll be back tomorrow at noon for the High Noon Show. We'll do more of a normal show tomorrow as opposed to what we did today where we spent an hour and 10 minutes watching President Putin talk to the Russian people. Unless, some big crazy stuff pops off. If big crazy stuff pops off, then, it's anybody's guess. So, but thank you all. You can support the show in any way. Leslie, I'm hoping that tomorrow we will have some solution to our situation. Leslie sent me a care package because she's awesome, and it got delivered to the wrong house. So, yeah, and I give Leslie I give anybody the address. What are you people gonna come and kill me in my sleep? You have no idea what kind of animal we have prowling around here. Also, there's an arsenal in this. I'm not worried about any of you people. Is basically what I'm saying. I'm not worried about any of you people. You people are all friends. There's not enough of you to cause me any true concern. Like I said, our dog is crazy. Our dog is crazy and our dog is mean. You'll never get to the front door. That dog will let the entire neighborhood know when you walk on the porch. That's it. I got nothing else. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. Bye now.